Steve and Jill here.
Hi again.
Welcome to the House Academy show this time.
It's been a while.
Entertaining land investment talk. Oh, I'm sorry. Entertaining real estate investment talk. This is the House Academy show.
It's been a while.
I'm Stephen Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Today, Jill and I talk about this topic. What is House Academy? And I have to tell you, this is a perfect timing. The recording of this show is perfect because Jill and I have some, 2+ year friends who were asking us last night over some beer.
Right.
What do you guys really do for a living? Like, we've never talked about it. And so we had to explain it to them as if,
That's
they
true.
are. They came in cold.
Yeah.
They have no idea what kind of real estate operation we have, really what
How
we
it
did for a living at
works.
all.
They don't understand.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
So we had to, I guess it was a rehearsal for this show. So we had
Maybe
to
it
explain it
was.
to them.
Exactly.
So we'll give it our best shot here.
Yeah. And in case you're wondering, no, we did not break into an abandoned home because you see caution tape behind me. It kind of looks like we broke into something that's like under construction. It's about to be demolished in a day. But no, this is Halloween stuff. So we're actually recording this a few days before Halloween.
The kids
so.
went nuts with the Halloween
was
directions.
good.
I thought they were too old for this, but nope.
Nope, they can drive. I gave them $150 and sent them off to get decorations, and it was fun.
I think they spent all of it too.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't include the candy.
Right.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the houseacademy.com online community. It's free.
That says G-Man. Is
This
that
is for
correct?
real.
Okay. G-Man asks, hi, everyone. Do you split your mailer up into several smaller mailers and paste them out? Or do you send them all out at once and deal with a flood of calls? Well, looks like somebody already weighed in here, which is really cool. Lisa said, my experience with land is I get flooded with calls if I send out a few thousand mailers. With houses, it seems relatively quiet. I have some things to say about that.
It's not quiet at all for
Not
us.
for me. Thinking I could have doubled down on the house mailers and been just fine. I was afraid I'd miss some calls, but that's not what I'm seeing. Guess I will know better for next time. Should I share our
Go,
experience?
Jill, go.
All right. So we just sent out in LA County about 17,000 units. I can tell you exactly it hit on Saturday. I know that for a fact. And I know people immediately, as the mailman was walking down the steps of their front door, were picking up the phone to call me and to share with me how they felt about my offer. What's really funny, though, is it's not... So think about this, 17,000 units. I got about 30 phone calls on Saturday. That's not bad.
Mm-hmm.
That's manageable.
That's first day.
And
Day
then
one.
Sunday, I think it's Sunday, they didn't want to deal with it. I got about 10, I'm going to say. So
Yes, we work on the weekends.
we do work on the weekends. But I like these calls, and it's important to answer the calls. So that's my thing. You'll know very quickly what you can handle. For some people, 30 is too many. I didn't care. On Saturday, I'm fine with it. But, you can space them out. And what's funny is the first wave is always a blast of the unhappy people. And then after a few days, it starts to settle.
They talk to their spouses.
Right. And then the real calls start coming
Yeah.
in. So like even today, a couple days in, I've got a buyer that just called me. I've got a sweet little old lady who told me, what's really going on in her area and that she'd hang on to my letter. I'm like, this is fantastic. I got invited over for tea the other day. This lady just said, can we be friends? It was the cutest thing. I'm like, I don't want to sell, but I really like talking to you. I'm like, yeah, thank you. It was really cute.
That's nice.
So it was very nice. So it's important to get the calls.
It's the Jill effect.
Thank you. That's what we call Jillifying it. It was really good. That was classic. And I'm going to share some of these again because we record them.
I just sit here as Jill's guest.
Oh, today? Oh, sorry.
No, always.
Oh, welcome to the Jill and Jack show. We'll talk about that too. Anyway, so I just, I wanted to share that. What do you want to add?
There's a famous John F. Kennedy quote. He and Jacqueline Kennedy, during his presidency, went to Paris. Do you know this?
No.
And he came back and got in front of a camera and he was interviewed and he said, I was the man who accompanied Jacqueline Kennedy to Paris.
Yeah, Mrs. Kennedy. That's so funny. That's good.
Which I think is exactly how it should be.
That's cute. Thank you.
Today's topic is called, What is House Academy? This is the meat of the show.
Okay. So my goal here is to explain this in a way that doesn't make your head hurt. How's that?
Yeah, I really think we need to bring this down to like 4th grade
Okay.
today. Let's say 8th grade.
And I don't want to get technical. I don't want to get all detailed.
She's talking to me now, not you.
Okay, that's exactly right. I don't want to get technical. I don't want to get all detailed. I want to make this very clear and easy for everyone to understand, because when people come along and they go, wait a minute, I've been buying houses for years and doing them, and yeah, it started to dry up. That's why I'm here right now. This is really usually how it goes. Like, I have to wrap my head around this, and it sounds easy, but there's a lot to it, and I don't want to get bogged down in the details. So, do you mind if I just keep going with this for a minute, or do you want to dive in?
I will MC your comments here if I think gets out of order. Because
Okay.
what I think is imperative to understand House Academy and Land Academy, for that matter, they're the same thing. It's just a different products. Is to explain this in order how it goes. Like
Okay.
think in terms of doing a deal
Okay.
and start right from the beginning.
Okay. Well, then you start. How about you explain your part, and then I'll explain my part.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, good. So yeah, I'm acquisitions and Jill is sales. And that's just been that way from day one. We didn't set out to have it that way. We just naturally fell into those roles, which makes us pretty good partners, I think. Well, it's been a lot of years. Well, 10 years and about 16,000 deals later.
11
it works.
years.
Oh,
Thank
is it
you.
11?
Thank you for not remembering. It's okay. Going on 12, but that's okay.
Very first thing I do, the big picture overview here is we send out blind offers to owners of houses that are about 70% of the value of the actual house that the day we do the mailer. How do we know what 70% is? Through the algorithms of Zillow and Trulia and all that, but let's not get into it. That's what we do. And a very predictable percentage and a consistent percentage of people will sign the offer and send it back, even at 70%. In the case of land, it's closer to 30%. It's that much less than the actual current value. Why? Why the heck would anyone ever sell their house for less than it's worth? Why, Jill?
Because they're done with it. There's some reason. So, like, I just talked to a sweet little old lady, just like right before we sat down to record this show, who called me and said, look, and the offer, by the way, because it's pretty low, was not what makes sense to her, but she also knows she doesn't want to do retail. So what she just got off the phone with me and told me, I've got many offers. Many people, let's put it this way, many people have reached out to want to buy my property, but I've never got an offer, and nothing like what you just sent me. And so she said, I had to call you.
We get that comment
I had to
every
call
single
you
time.
and find out what's going on. So it's true to form, even here in our own backyard, people are doing it and not getting the response that we get. It's amazing. So she's like, well, how do you get this information? I just said, well, you know what? It's actually just public assessor information. She goes, okay. And then she goes, well, where'd you get this price from? And I said, I do the best I can with all the information. I just kind of gloss over the top. I don't want her to know, how strategic we get. And she doesn't need to know the formulas or anything like that. And I know what I sent her. I want to make her feel good, kind of thing. And I just, like, if that doesn't work for you, what price does work for you? And that's how it goes. And it just goes from there. And like this particular lady, I could tell she was older. And she has 2 duplexes side by side, by the way. This would be phenomenal. So,
Oh, really?
exactly.
Wow.
She says, I'm not ready to sell now, but I will hang on to your letter. She said, she was really nice. She said, I'm happy to talk to you. So I said, yeah, call me back in a year from now or whatever it is when the time is right, and let me know. We'll see what we can do. So that's just what you do. But so many of these people, so what happens is you did your job. The mail went out.
Let me start from the beginning, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
Long before the very, very first thing I do, like, how do you know where to send mail?
Yeah.
There's 150 million properties out there, Steve. Where do I start?
And how many counties, right?
I break the whole environment down by zip code. There's about 16 to 20,000 zip codes in this country. I think there's actually 26,000, but a lot of them are like Air Force bases and stuff and hospitals or universities. So there's some number like that. I'm going to get a million emails correcting me on that number. I do this to myself every show.
Yeah.
So I start and I look at a zip code and I go on to Redfin data, and we have this thing in our House Academy membership group called Equity Planner. And it asks you to go to Redfin. And let's say you want to send out, let's say you like, for whatever reason, Mesa, Arizona. You like that community. You think it's a good flip market for whatever reason. And because you're watching, you're going out on the MLS on realtor.com and you see a bunch of, totally renovated houses and you see what they're selling for. And so you decide, or you live in Mesa and you just, because it works everywhere. It's just a matter of pricing. So you take the 5 or 8 zip codes that are in Mesa, Arizona, or wherever,
Right.
and I call it pitting them against each other. You line them all up in Redfin data. You pull all the real estate data out of Redfin, and you look at which zip code is performing the best. The one that has the lowest days on market, the one that has the lowest number of listings in that zip code. And of those 5 or 8 zip codes, it every single time, 2 of them just shine. They, and again, Jill wants to keep this at the 8th grade level here, and that's true, but I won't go into how or why, but there's statistics that very clearly say, hey, properties are moving in this area over this other zip code over here for whatever reason. So it's not like I throw a dart at a board. We know it's going to happen before it happens.
Exactly. And that's a beautiful thing about House Academy. It's a lot easier than land.
Yeah.
Because we have that information and we know, what's going to happen with a house.
Yep.
It's going to happen, especially if you're hitting a zip code area with days on market or less than 30 days.
Yeah, that's right.
You can very predictably say, if I find an asset, a house that's 70% of the value and I mark it up and sell it at 80% of its value, I'm probably going to sell it pretty fast because that whole area is less than 30 days on market. That's it.
We try to
the whole
make
thing.
between $30,000 and $80,000 a house.
That's it.
It's dollars, not percentages. So however that works out. But then, great, I have 2 zip codes in Mesa. Jill and I are licensed providers of the 3 major assessor data syndicators nationally: RealQuest Pro, DataTree, and Title Pro 24/7.
Black Knight.
All separate, entirely separate companies, and we pit them against each other too. So I go out onto DataTree for houses, and I pull every single SFR that doesn't have a mortgage on it, so that they actually, this is my flavor on it. We have a lot of House Academy members who don't care about that. They love to send properties to houses that are highly leveraged. That's just what we do. So I pull all the assessor data.
Someone was just calling me right now, by the way.
Pull all the
Just share
assessor
that.
data, price it out. We send it. We have this product called Smart Pricing, where we send. Let's say you've got a universe of 5,000 properties in this mailer in these 2 zip codes in Mesa. We send it to the Philippines, our virtual assistant group there, and they do what we call smart pricing. Zillow, Trulia, Redfin, DataTree, all of
Can we take it up a notch? Like a little more on the top because we're not going to
Sure.
get very far. And I want to save stuff for other shows.
And so let's forget about Jill's right. Let's forget about how.
I don't need the details.
70% of what we think the house is worth today, we put it in the spreadsheet and we send it to Offers to Owners, which is a company we own, a bulk mail printing company, and send them out. We send out every like I just said, 5,000 offers, and I'm done.
Thank you. Okay, so
And
the phone
Jill
rings just like
takes over.
that. I answer the phone. I work with the sellers. We close quickly with cash. And what we do with them too is we are buying these. We tell them too, our offer price, whatever we agree on in the end, maybe they say, hey, if you add 10 more thousand, you got a deal. And you know what? In some areas, 10,000 is like nothing. I'm like, that's totally fine because I know how I came in.
Los Angeles market's nothing.
I mean, they might, for those people, I might say add $200,000 and I might go, all right, I can do that. I have that much wiggle room in the deal because I know what's going to happen. So, and I tell them, this is part of the attraction is, I'm real, I'm credible. They can look us up. We're very transparent. I'm not here to gouge anybody. I'm trying to make it a good deal for them, good deal for us. And our offer price is net to them. I pay all the closing costs. I deal with the inspection. I don't charge them anything. That's it. And they know that we're going to close in 2 weeks or whatever it is. It's going to happen exactly as we say.
Hello.
Hello. So, and that's it. And then, so House Academy is finding it, buying it, owning it. And then we even share and help you in our whole thing. In this show, it's going to unfold more on the show. How do I sell them? How do I build a buyer's list? What do I do with them? That's going to go on. And that's what we do too. We take it all the way to the end. And again, it's very predictable, easy,
And consistent.
Yeah, and you know how fast it's going to go.
Exactly. One of the reasons this works so well is because we don't typically do not sell the property to the end user. We sell it to a person who's going to renovate it
Yes.
most of the time.
That's true.
Which is a real wholesaler.
That's what we
It's
love.
so much easier to deal with somebody in the industry. They're not talking about window treatments and stuff.
Exactly.
They're just looking at price per square foot because they're going to rip it all out anyway and make it gorgeous.
Right. That's our perfect scenario. Exactly. Some of our members do both though. Some like to retail. We have members in our group that are doing exactly what we do, where they'll wholesale to flippers who come in and make it great. And some of them do the work themselves. They, all levels of work, whatever you want to do. And many people in our group too are actively own construction companies. They are in the business. They are flippers. And their deal flow is just drying up. They're like, God, the ways that we used to go find these deals is getting hard. I'm like, no kidding.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you right now, you know what's happening to me right now? My phone is blowing up. And so they're like, this is the greatest thing on the planet. The money that they spend, once you learn it, the process of learning it and getting the offers out there in the mail, that's the secret, I think. Because then the people call back, I do want to sell or I don't want to sell. I like this price. I want this price, whatever it is. They're reaching out to you, and that's the beauty of the whole thing.
We have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of successful members, and they say stuff like this. I get an email like this once a week, at least. I can't thank you enough for this tiny amount of money that you ask for the education. I have my own business now.
Yeah.
I completely started my own business in 3 months.
Exactly.
We're buying and selling houses every week now.
Right.
And it's you're right, it's predictable and incredibly inexpensive. To do a 5,000 unit mailer costs a couple grand total.
Exactly.
And you're making $30,000 to $50,000 per deal.
Right.
So if you do everything right on a 5,000 unit mailer, you should do a couple deals.
Wow.
Now you're making $100,000 on what costs $2,000 for data and mail.
I was going to point out too, a lot of people in our community are real estate investors realtors.
Yeah.
This is a way for them to either acquire properties or acquire listings. That's a great thing too.
I've been saying this since day one with Land Academy. The people that do the best in our group, they learn first how to do the basic mechanics of everything, and then they have their own twist on it.
Yep.
And so, real estate agents, for whatever reason, are really making this work.
Yep. I know this is a big thing. So, I'm excited to talk more about it on our next show.
Hey, we know your time's valuable. Thanks for spending some of it with us today. Join us next time for the episode called What Makes a Successful House Wholesaler?
And we answer your questions.
It has nothing to do with phrasing a sentence, I'll tell you that.
No, that's okay. And we're going to answer your questions posted on our online community at houseacademy.com. It is free.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
Feels good to be back.
What we didn't talk about is the mailer that we just did. Listen to this. We have a guy in our group who has access to a lot of buyers that are very specific buyers in Los Angeles for very specific asset type that you can see in the data by its zoning. So go ahead.
No, I said we should talk about this on the next show because it ties into that.
All right, sure.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Wherever you're watching or wherever you're listening, please subscribe and rate us there.
We are Steve and Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.